Hello everyone, welcome to Grand Prix Vancouver 2012. It is round 7 and these two players are on the cusp of day 2. One of them will be in business. Will it be two-time Pro Tour champion Mr. Brian Kibler, there he is, or will it be Cam Newhook? And there he is on the right of your screen in the red hoodie, gearing up for round 7. Players looking at their group of 7. I'm in the company of New York's finest, Mr. Steve Sadin, or arguably second finest because Brian Evan Marshall isn't here and he wouldn't like me to say anything else. So, looks like mulligans from Cam.
Players in scanner number 5. You sign up for scanner number 5, side event. Please come to the stage.
You can hear in the background there, Steve, they're announcing side events. I love the fact that this afternoon there was what they call a pity party event, which was basically, and there was a very long title, which was something like the 2 p.m. sealed. My sealed deck sucked. I was really unlucky and misbuilt my deck, and my opponents always had the answers. Pity Party Tournament. I think that was the full title of the event, and it was really fun watching people come up at 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock into not going, I'd like to play in the Pity Party, please.
Sure. All right, and we're off. Cam kept his 6-card hand, and Kibler led. So Forest.
So green-blue for Kibler, and we will instantly have a 2-2 rather than a 1-1 distributing a counter somewhere else. Second swamp for Cam. Highly unlikely that he's going to be able to be mono black.
I've actually played about a dozen sealed deck events, and I haven't played black as main color once. So presumably Cam has picked up a lot of good removal spells. It had pushed him into black.
Kibler passes on turn 3.
Cam has a butcher rule.
And because it's 2 islands and a forest for Kibler, no worries about a Wolfir Avenger coming flashing out. Now 3 in 1, so again, no second green mana, but Miss Raven resets the board on that side. 2 more damage comes in.
Kibler just played out a second creature, so he's now vulnerable to Barter and Blood, should Cam have it. He doesn't. He has a Corpse Driver, which
Traders.
Corpse Traders. Stop the Timberland Guide dead in its tracks. A Wolfir Silverheart.
Yeah, never mind not having an Avenger. Here's a second prize. What am I doing with that? The Big Brother. Wow.
And
6.
Cam's on 10. If he doesn't have an answer right now, we're just on to the next game.
He has just about 1 turn spare. Chump block in front of the Silverheart. Take 8, go to 2. That's not super exciting. Mind you, I mean, it's hard to have anything as exciting as Wolfir Silverheart paired up with a flyer. So we're going to see the Corpse Traders activate, Butcher Ghoul comes back, Kibler has to discard, and reveals that he's just got 2 land left in hand, but all the power is on the board. Smash.
Does not attack with the Timberland Guide. Doesn't want to leave himself open to Barter and Blood.
And there's a Latch Seeker. Good luck, Cam.
Seems like it's only a matter of
Parchment Blood and Bone Splinters. Not in that order. Would leave just the Timberland Guide left maybe or something like that. No.
Nope.
All done.
They're off to game 2.
Freaking constructed, not that bad.
Wolfir Silverheart. Quite good.
One of possibly the best card in Block Constructed.
Yeah.
You know what?
Certainly the defining card of Pro Tour Avacyn Sword.
I do like
one
a
of
large
the better cards in Standard,
kind of my jam.
even if it's kept somewhat in check by the prevalence of Delver deck, and just absolutely dominant in Limited. You're adding a full 12 power to the board for only 5 mana.
You see Kibler there, and it was interesting. I watched the Walk the Plains episode 3, which was the Avacyn Restored Pro Tour recap, and he was very honest about the metagame read that Channel Fireball had. But I was curious because their kind of pitch coming into the event was, we've got these Wolfir Silverhearts, and we kind of think no one else does. And honestly, I mean, and they were saying that privately. It wasn't it wasn't a rumor they were attempting to spread. That they would just actually saying that straight up. And it just seems so unlikely because you have just said what it does. 12 power to the board for 5 mana. It's not the kind of thing that people are going to miss. And I was amazed that they arrived with that. In a sense, I honestly didn't really believe that they believed it was a sleeper thing.
Keep in mind that one of the biggest advantages Team Channel Fireball has is the fact that they all get together in a house a week or two before the Pro Tour, and they just work non-stop until they solve the format. This time around, they were all suffering from stomach flu. They couldn't get in that last-minute preparation that usually puts them over the top. So while they might have been right a week before the event, they might have been sort of spot on at that point, they weren't able to continue pressing forward to actually get to the point where people were at by the time Friday morning came.
Yeah, I mean,
up
they were pretty miserable in the week before. I mean, even Eric Froelich wasn't happy.
Yes. Normally known for his very cheery disposition and the fact that he appreciates how fortunate he is in life, seemed a bit down on things.
He was very poorly, from what I understand, in the week before. Oh, there you see the arena. It's a pretty vast affair. You can see the feature match area, or what I call the coat hanger rack above the table. Just needs a couple of business suits hanging from either side of the overhead camera.
Pro Tour Avacyn Restored is the first time in a long time that we've seen a Pro Tour Top 8 without a member of Team Channel Fireball.
Wow, that's an interesting one. I'm trying to think how... That is a good one. Like, exactly how many PTs is that?
And Kibler has to start off game 2 with Mulligan. Now, we really didn't get to see much of Cam's deck. We saw a 2-drop, a 4-drop.
Yeah, mostly we talked about cards he didn't have. Was there a Bar in Blood? Was there a Bang Splitters? No, nah.
Without any premium removal spells showing up, you're not going to be able to beat a draw with Mist Raven and Wolfir Silverheart.
Yeah.
Just isn't going to, there's no sequence of plays that you can make that'll even allow you to come close without the right answer.
Yeah, on the play. Depends on who drops are, and it depends if you're on the draw. I'm actually
we've got
this format. 2 drops can actually sometimes kill people.
Searching away on dailymtg.com.
I
Pro Tour results.
Yeah, absolutely.
To see the last time that there was a Pro Tour Top 8
without a member of Team Channel Fireball. So we have Pro Tour Dark Ascension. You got Kibler and Paolo.
The number of times
indeed. So Avacyn Restored now. So 2011 had the World Championship. Oh well, they were all in the World Championship top 8. As we know, Josh Adler-Layton, Louis Scott Vargas, Paladina Domina-Rosa, and Conley Woods. We'll come back to this after the match, which might not be long unless Cam does something a bit better than in Game 1. Apprentice for 2 mana from Kibler. I like cards like that a lot.
Yeah?
Tiny little creatures, low impact, Soul Cage Fiend on the other side for Cam. But the
a little bit of a bigger impact card.
No, I mean, I just like cards in the history of Magic that let you sacrifice, you get a card back. I like the scrolls. I like Scroll of Avacyn, for example. It's so cheap. So sure, you get it 5 lives sometimes, but basically it's there to cycle. And this, for 2 mana, you got to essentially gain some life when you jump what the Soul Cage Fiend, for example. Sacrifice it, draw a card. I like little effects like that.
Cam's off to a very fast start. You know, turn 4, he already has 7 power on the board. Kibler has a 1/1.
Yes.
It's a Druid's Familiar.
That's better.
Certainly changes things. So now, if Cam has a way to deal with the Druid's Familiar, he's going to be able to get in for a lot of damage. If he doesn't, he might not even have an attack. He isn't necessarily going to want to trade his Soul Cage Fiend for an Apprentice. Especially when Kibler can just play another creature and repair the Druid's Familiar to that. Druid's Familiar might not pack quite the wall that Wolfie or Silverheart does, but again, you're paying 4 mana, you're adding 6 power to the board.
Yeah, I think right now Cam would quite happily exchange his Soul Cage Fiend for the Druid's Familiar. And then you have the not quite the Holy Grail, but Trusted Force Mage into Druid's Familiar is pretty saucy.
Kibler doesn't have to block with his Druid's Familiar. He can just block with the Apprentice, which is a 3/3, and capable of trading with either one of Cam's creatures. Cam just played a Ulvenwald Tracker that he's currently hiding with his hand.
So it could be some fighting in the future.
Which he now, assuming Kibler doesn't have anything else, has the ability to trade his Soul Cage Fiend for that Druid's Familiar, and again put himself back in the driver's seat. Kibler is playing blue-green, so aside from Misthaven,
or Into the Void, something like that.
there are very few things that he can do to permanently deal with the Ulvenwald Tracker.
Yeah.
He might have something like a Spectral Prison, but even that...
I mean, do people play that much?
We saw it just a couple of rounds ago.
Sure, okay.
Not necessarily the most potent answer, but if you don't have any other way to deal with opposing threats, you can do a lot worse. Kibler's really deliberating about his play here. He knows he has to do something to limit the effectiveness of the tracker. He goes ahead and attacks with his 3/3 Apprentice, leaving the Druid's Familiar back. Even though Cam can use his Ulvenwald Tracker to trade Soul Cage Fiend for Druid's Familiar, Kibler wants to make him actually go ahead, go through the motions, and do that. He doesn't want to just offer up the trade on its own. Kibler draws a card, it's the Apprentice. Does he have another creature to play to pair? He does.
Nettle Swine.
And we also saw a Joint Assault sticking out of Kibler's hand. So that might allow his Druid's Familiar to live, assuming Cam doesn't have any pump spells or removal spells of his own. despite Cam's quick start, he's actually in a little bit of a tricky situation here.
Yeah.
He's attacking with the soul cage field.
He's currently a 4-3.
Kibler has to decide whether or not he wants to block with his nettle slime. There's almost no chance of him putting his druid's familiar in front of the soul cage field.
Yes.
Really, no good can come of that.
I'm sure there's a fairy tale which has that in a line somewhere. Now, don't put your druid's familiar in front of the soul cage field, my dear. No good can come of that, said Grandma.
I'll admit, I never heard that story growing up, but I'm sure it's very popular in England.
It's a Bulgarian fairy tale.
Cam is tapping 3 mana. Maybe he has a Necrobite.
Yeah.
Wait, did Kibler double block?
Oh, wow.
That's kind of
So this is just going to be absolutely devastating. No, he just blocked with the nettle slime.
Do you like Necrobite?
I do. I don't think there are that many good tricks in the format. Even though it's a little bit expensive, it's good enough.
How much damage is
Sometimes you just really need a trick. You're not always going to have a bunch of joint assaults at your disposal.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. And now Cam gets to Tracker, Soul Cage Fiend against Druid's Familiar. And the best that Kibler can do here is
he's not looking
play the joint assault to
for a lot of things important.
take out the Soul Cage Fiend. Which he will do.
Yeah.
If Cam doesn't have another creature, Kibler isn't in bad shape. There's actually no real reason to believe that Cam necessarily does. He spent a turn just playing Olden Wall Tracker, but he may have wanted to leave mana up for Necrobite. It's unlikely that he's that worried about using Necrobite against Kibler's blue-green deck.
Abundant Growth from Kibler draws into, like yet another land. Misthaven will send Tracker back to hand.
So Kibler did not want to bounce the Tribal Force Mage. If he had done that, Cam could have just trusted Force Mage. Could have just replayed the trusted Force Mage, paired it with the Olden Wall Tracker, and then used Olden Wall Tracker.
Signals, so off you go.
Cam attacks in with the paired Trusted Force Mage. Tandem lookout for Kibler immediately gets paired to Misthaven. Attack allows Kibler to draw an additional card. He knows that Cam can eat either of his creatures with the Olden Wall Tracker. He can't afford to just sit back and wait. He's got to try to draw into something relevant.
The thing is, when you say something relevant, when we remember that he has Wolf's Silverheart from game 1,
That's definitely something relevant.
Yeah, Cam's at 12. Put down the Wolf's Silverheart, pair it up, Misthaven in for 6. That's a 1-turn clock. So as you say, it's just trying to get closer, but fight, tandem lookout, bites the dust.
Alright. Can Kibler find his Wolfear Silverheart?
Didn't even look green when he drew there. He's going to send in the Mist Raven. Cam
down to.
It's 5 mana, but it's not. Only 1 green. Narstad Scrapper, which Kibler can pump once, turn it into a 4/3.
Cam can't just eat it. Obviously, the Scrapper isn't the card you're going to look to play. Perfectly serviceable creature. When Kibler untaps, if it's still alive, he'll be able to pump it 4 times.
Yeah.
And Cam has a Druid Familiar, which is currently unpaired.
But that's bad news waiting to happen for Brian, who now has a hand by the looks of things of just 2 islands.
Attack here, he can knock Cam down to 3. I'm sorry, but he can knock him down to... Oh, no, he won't.
No, but he can't do that, because if Cam lays a creature, suddenly the Druid's Familiar gets to pair, it gets bonused up. That seems a big risk.
Kibler didn't need to,
He wants to be
not
on
to
deep.
attack. He doesn't necessarily want to be on defense, but he doesn't have much of a choice.
Has chosen to be on deep.
Cam trying to decide if he wants to attempt to trade his Force Mage with the Scrapper. If Kibler has any sort of pump spell, Cam could actually find himself in a not so great situation. He does, it goes through. And that attack is Kibler on 5.
Yeah, so Timberland Guide gets a counter on itself.
Does Cam have a creature to pair with?
Looks like he might. Yeah,
Butcher
Ghoul. Yeah, that's not good for Ryan.
And he's going to
It's going to be
tracker.
fighting.
Needs to tap it. Let's give on 1, and we're off to game 3.
Well, let's play game 3. Okay, so I won't make it easy for you, Steve, but I'm going to give you a year.
Okay.
Okay, so we're in 2012 right now, and we know that in 2012 we didn't have anyone from Channel 5 or in Pro Tour Hours in Restored Top 8.
Okay.
And of course we did in Pro Tour Dark Ascension. In which year do you think it last happened that there were no Channel 5 players? So you're at 11, 10, 9 or 8?
I know, I mean like in 1 month.
I'm pretty confident that it's either 9 or 8. I'm going to go 8.
Okay, let's see. 2011, the World Championship, 4 of them in there. Conley Woods, Paolo, Luis, Josh. Go back to Pro Tour Philadelphia, you've got Josh Otterlate finishing second. Pro Tour Nagoya, you've got LSV in second. I still have no idea how he didn't win that Pro Tour. His draft day was amazing. But you know, he got beaten in the quarters. Pro Tour Paris, Ben Stark wins the whole thing, of course. And then you've got Tom Martell around that group. Now we go to 2010. 2010 Worlds, you've got Paolo Vidal de Rosa, Eric Froelich in the top 8. Amsterdam, you've got Brian Kibler in the top 8 there. And Brad Nelson, of course. Pro Tour San Juan, well, that was won by Paolo Vidal de Rosa. Brad Nelson's in the top 8, Josh Utter-Layton's in the top 8. Pro Tour San Diego, well, that was the 16-0 run for Louis Scott Vargas before he eventually lost to Simon Gertz. So now we're into 2009. The end of 2009, well, let's take a look at the World Championship top 8. 8th place, Florian Pills.
I mean, you were talking to a guy who
Rain Leiber.
was going to
6th, Manuel Buca. 5th, William Cavalieri of Italy. top 4, Bram Snetvankers,
You obviously have to have something.
Hall of Famer from the Netherlands. 3rd, Terry Sir, Malaysia, who's qualified for the World Magic
It could just be
2nd, Austria's David Reitbauer. And the winner, who was also not from Channel Fireball, was Andre of Portugal. So the 2009 World Championship was the last time that there was no Channel Fireball member in the top 8. The rest of 2009, they were very successful again. Paolo was in Austin, he went to won by Brian Kibler, of course. Pro Tour Honolulu. You've got Conley Woods, Brian Kibler. Again, though, this isn't really the team Channel Fireball by then, because they're still almost really individuals informally working together. But an incredible run when you do realise that all of 2010 and all of 2011 and the first Pro Tour in 2012, they've got people in the top 8. Just extraordinary.
Not bad.
I'm really looking forward to getting someone from Fireball into possibly or Conley Woods. I would really like to find out what the future of that team is going to be. Because to me, it feels like the goalposts have really shifted in that you have the 2-star city teams, you have a bunch of teams like team manager deprived Alexander Hayne winning the last Pro Tour. There are groups getting organised, and Channel Fireball is rupturing is a very negative term, so don't think of it in that way. But Brad has left. Matt Nass is at college and is basically not around in that group now. Paolo has gone back to Brazil. He's going to be playing at a bunch of events. He'll be back for all the big ones. Luis now has this new job in Denver designing games, so his eyes are not currently absolutely front and center on competitive Magic.
Working with Conley now.
I like that group as well. I did not know that. Right, okay. I knew Conley was in Denver anyway. I hadn't realized that he was part of that group. Right, okay. Because Patrick Chapin is now in that group, I believe.
Yep.
And they're designing away. Worth mentioning, of course, that's something you're very much involved with, game design and bringing things to fruition. You're very involved with, is it Clash of the Dragons on Facebook?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we actually have another game coming out within the month.
All right, okay. Similar kind of thing, or like trading card game, collectible card game?
Digital card game.
Wow, awesome. Look forward to that. Does it have a title that you can tell us?
Not
I'm sure
yet.
it has a title, but not that you can tell us.
Not yet.
Okay, but we keep an eye on Facebook.
Definitely. I'll be posting up a storm about it.
Great, look forward to that. If you've not tried Clash of the Dragons on Facebook, it's a lot of fun.
And we see both Kibler and Cam getting the game started with mulligans.
So the shot of Brian Kibler, that is presumably the Kibler cam. And then the other shot, is that the cam?
I refuse to respond to that.
You're just not going to indulge me in any way.
Cam now going down to 5 cards.
Which makes the overhead the Kibler cam.
Oh, I don't know. One-on-one. Yeah.
Right now, there's an online petition for the abolition of mulligans. Just watch what happens. One-on-one, let's hope for a decent game in 3. Be nice to bring you a bit of a nail biter.
Kibler is on the play, so Cam will get a chance to draw that extra card.
Is that an acceptable collection?
You can see at least one land in it.
Attention, Ryan Kibler.
Cam is not happy with the 5 cards. Yeah, you can see it on his face. Sure. Doesn't necessarily want to keep, but he doesn't want to go down to 4 cards either. Kibler has a turn 2 Timberland guide.
Please find your seats for round 3.
And a trusted force mage.
Yeah.
This could be over fast.
Yes. Which would mean we would hopefully get a chance to talk to Brian Kibler.
You were saying you wanted to get him in the booth.
What's to talk to him about? World Magic Cup? Players Championship?
Cam has a Borderland Ranger, but can't block profitably. Likely going to fall down to 11 on this attack. He does.
So, Cam draws, looks. Sends Borderland Ranger in. And then let's butter and
blood. Interesting that he chose not to block. He may have drawn the butter.
Sure. Nettle Swine is the reboot for Kibler. Cam up to 5 men, all passes. Now, do I suspect Wolfer Avenger here? I guess
possible, but he may went down to 5
yeah,
cards.
so you just assume it's a genuine 5 mana, can't do anything.
Even, especially when you haven't seen Wolfer Avenger all match, you can't play scared there.
Yeah, sure.
That was a Harvester of Souls.
Whether it hits my head or not, you kill me.
But Banishment. +4/+4.
Go away.
That's the match.
Brian Kibler wins. Brian Kibler is through to day 2. He will get to draft Avacyn Restored at least twice more, and maybe 3.
So Kibler has 5 Pro Tour top 8s, 2 wins.
Yep.
Is it